Chasing bream on soft plastics is one of my favourite forms of fishing. Normally I use ultra-fine PE style braid as my main line with fluorocarbon leaders of various lengths and strengths depending on conditions. But when the going gets really tough like it is today and the bites shut right down, I'll grab an ultralight outfit completely spooled up with skinny fluorocarbon line. Fluorocarbon's super smooth, hard to see underwater, and has a stretch factor midway between braid and nylon. This makes it perfect for ultra finesse fishing. But when you buy this stuff, pay more attention to the line's diameter than to its rated breaking strain. For this style of fishing, you really need to look for a fluorocarbon that's finer than about 0.15 of a millimetre in thickness. That could be rated anywhere from 2 to 4 pounds, depending on the brand. But it's the diameter that really counts. Once you get up over about 0.2 of a mil, the finesse advantages rapidly diminish, and I reckon you're better off going back to braid and a longish leader. The other thing I'm extra fastidious about when ultra finesse fishing is choosing the finest gauge and sharpest jig hooks available and the lightest head I can get away with, and then adding a proven scent like S factor to my plastic. These seemingly small things can make all the difference. It's also important to slow right down. Keep your scented plastic in the strike zone for as long as possible and concentrate really hard on detecting those often subtle bites. You might not get too many chances on a hard day, so you need to take advantage of every one of them. Oh, there we go. Well, it's taken a little while, but by finessing, I've managed to pin one, and this is where it gets hairy with this 2 pound line. It's surprising how hard you can pull, but you've really got to use that rod as a shock absorber and just be gentle with the fish. That was the softest take. They're really shut down at the moment, and I really don't think I would have got that fish if I hadn't gone to this super skinny stuff. He's a good fish too. Funnily enough, sometimes they don't act up as hard on the light line as you think they might if you're just gentle with them. You can lead them. I know there's some pretty gnarly sticks out here, so I'm quite happy that this fish is up high in the water column at the moment. Just let him have his head when he wants it. It's a lovely fish. At this point, I'll even back the drag off a tiny bit because we're down to a short length of line now, so there's less stretch in it. Grab my landing net. This is a very solid southern black bream. And I got him. And there he is, well over a kilo on the 2 pound fluorocarbon, fish straight through. And today I just don't think I would have got a fish without going to that super light approach. Look at that, he's just pinned on the little squidgy grub. Pretty happy about that. They're all good fun on that light gear. So one tip that I would give you with this ultra fine fluorocarbon line is that it is a little bit prone to twisting, especially seeing you using a fairly light drag setting. And a great little trick is just to cut your lure off when you're moving between spots and just trail some line out behind the moving boat. Doesn't matter whether you're traveling on the electric motor like I am now or on the outboard. Just run 40 or 50 meters out behind you, at least as much as you're casting, and trail it behind the moving boat just for a couple of minutes. It'll take all that twist out of it, straighten it up. It'll be like new line. It's a really good tip. And then when you wind it back on, just squeeze it between your fingers to put a little bit of tension on it. You'll dramatically reduce how many tangles you get doing this. Well, the sounder is showing some scattered fish on this flat. It's all about 1.5 meters to 1.8 meters deep. So I've changed over to a hard-bodied lure and I've gone up to 4-pound fluorocarbon straight through. And I'm just going to cast with the wind behind me and cover some ground on this flat. I don't just constantly retrieve the lure, I'm building a fair few stops and pauses into the retrieve as well, just to let the lure float up a little bit, and that's often when the fish will hit it, especially the southern black bream. They tend to really like the pauses. Oh yeah, he absolutely creamed that. Just wound it down to its operating depth. Ooh. Gave it one quick pause and smack. Good fish too. This is a really good bream. And there he is. It's a beautiful big yellowfin bream, this one. And he's actually straightened one of the tines on the treble. He really crunched it. What a gorgeous fish. The fluorocarbon's doing its thing. This is turning into a pretty good session. I can't wait to replace the bent treble on that lure and get back into it. And sure enough, they're on the chew. Oh, yep. Oh, got some weight. Oh. Beautiful bream. Look at that for a fish. It's definitely got some yellowfin bream genes in it, that one. It might not be a purebred, but I'd say it's a hybrid southern black yellowfin. And there's the hard-bodied lure. I'm just drifting across a flat here that's about 1.7 metres deep. And I know this lure goes about 1.5, 1.6, so it's getting right down near the bottom. I'm just fishing it stop-start on the 4-pound fluorocarbon straight through to the lure. It's a really effective way to catch bream. If you're serious about your bream luring, I strongly recommend adding an ultra finesse outfit spooled up with skinny fluorocarbon to your tackle lineup. On some days, it can make all the difference.